Dustin, how you doing? How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Thanks for having me on.
So let's start with your physical stuff, and then we want to talk about the Jimmy Fund with you because you were close to everything back here. How are you feeling, and what's the situation?
I'm getting better every day. It's been a long road. Kind of having long days. Multiple rehab sessions, trying to do the best I can to if I'm called upon to be ready to help us at any point. So I'm doing better. I'm looking forward to getting back to the team here pretty soon. Just to be around the guys and hopefully help out a little bit.
Pete, it's been pretty quiet around here as far as like your availability. I'm just curious, are you are you training to come back this year or to make sure you're 100% for next year?
Well, I mean, I'm preparing right now to, hopefully if it's possible to, if the team needs me this year to be ready. I don't know if they know it's possible, and I don't know if it's possible. I mean, all I'm doing right now is working, and I started a running progression last Friday, so I'm building up the best I can. I mean, you guys all know in this game anything can happen, with injuries or anything like that, and I just want to make sure that if something does happen that I'm prepared and ready at that time. It's a tough injury to rehab back from. I think the timetable I was given at the start was a little unrealistic, but we made some changes to my rehab and things like that. I'm feeling a lot better, and I'm seeing a lot of changes, and I'm gonna get over this injury. It's just a matter of when, and hopefully, if it's not this year, then I have 3 years remaining to play after that.
So the team's on like this record pace, and everybody's in a good mood, and lots of great camaraderie, and everybody's excited here in town. And you're in Tempe, right? You're in Arizona rehab, and how tough has it been for you to kind of watch this from afar, knowing that you can't be a part of it?
I mean, honestly, if this is probably the best thing ever for me. We're playing great baseball. It's so fun to watch. It's exciting. All the guys are doing well. If it wasn't going like that, if I had any hair on my head, I would have pulled it out. So it's watching every game and shooting guys, funny text messages after they do good. That's keeping me going, and just hearing from them during this process. But it's been exciting to watch. There's a lot of baseball to be played, and the main goal is right in front of us.
Terry Francona, your old friend, is here. Old manager is here now, obviously at Fenway Park, and these guys are telling stories. Terry was telling stories about you and how you just woke up every morning ready to kick someone's ass, which is what he always loved about you. But I'm curious. You were with Alex. You saw the way he worked in this locker room. You were with Tito for all those years. Do you see a similarity in how the two of them deal with their team?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's no panic. There's always something looking forward to to the end. There's always a process of, hey, you could go for 4 today, or you could give up 7 runs, but hey, you're going to be fine. Continue to work, continue to build, and if you do that the right way, it's in any profession. If you put the work in, you're going to be successful, and that's the way both of them operate. And obviously they both joke around, things like that. So it keeps it loose. Alex obviously gets on me all the time, but not as much as Tito did. But no, they're very similar in how they go about every day.
Well, you know what we're doing here for 2 days. You've been around for a long time, and you've seen this whole process. We're up to 754,000. Your first remembrance of this whole Jimmy Fund radio telethon?
Oh, I mean, they coming up with the Red Sox. I mean, they build it in you in the minor leagues, and you see, what goes on, and just the stories that you hear, and obviously the way that people's lives have been saved and changed, and everything matters. I mean, just seeing those kids. I mean, this is the part that stinks not being there. You always look forward. I always look forward to seeing Lisa there and all the kids, and just trying to put a smile on their face and hear their stories and what they're going through, and you know, it's special that, you know, that everybody gets involved in trying to save someone's life.
You know, Dustin, you talked about Alex being harder on you than Francona was, and you know, when you were a rookie, Alex that was his first year here, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
So how was that when you know, when next thing you know, like, you know, he was your mentor, maybe he was, you know, propping you up and, you know, telling people not to give up on you, especially when you were struggling early in April that rookie year, you know, and the next thing you know, like you're playing great and you're rookie of the year. How has that relationship changed over the years, and how has he helped you since then?
Well, it's always been, I mean, he was never a guy that I went to he was never a safety net for me. He was a guy that taught me how to play at that level. You know, he was next to me. His locker was next to me. We'd take ground balls together. We did everything together. We sat on the plane together. We went out and ate on the road. So he taught me how to understand the game at the big league level. And just through the years, I mean, he's been my closest friend. I mean, if I ever have any problems or I'm struggling or, you know, any thoughts to run by some, even when you know, this is before this year, I would call up Alex. And I would just, you know, run things by him, see, you know, what his thoughts were on it. And that hasn't changed. I mean, we always, you know, I was 23 years old, I think, my first year, and he treated me like I had been in the big leagues for 10 years. And he listened to what I had to say, things like that, and then basically told me what to do. So, I mean, and that part has never changed. So, you know, it's. I mean, I only played 3 games, and it was a blast playing for him those 3 games. So I want to obviously get back and be able to play for him, you know, over a long period of time. But we still talk all the time. You know, I'm keeping him updated on how I'm doing, things like that. And you can see how the guys are playing too, with the freedom and understanding of, you know, it's okay to, you know, take risks on the bases, or, you know, 3-1 count, you know, take a huge swing, or Mookie can swing at the first pitch. There's a freedom that Alex brings, you know, that the guys obviously appreciate.
I always hear players over the years that teammates, they always say, he's going to be a coach someday. He's going to be a manager. Mike Vrabel, football player. People said it. He was going to be a coach someday. Kapler down in Philadelphia. People said Gabe was going to be a manager someday. Did you think Alex was going to be a manager someday?
Yeah, if he wanted to. You know, I didn't. I mean, we always, you know, joked around. And I mean, we talk so much. That's all we do is talk baseball. You know, certain situations. You know, you talk about all parts of the game. And then the game obviously has changed a lot, you know, since my rookie year. And then it you know, your conversation keeps changing. You talk about analytics. You talk about, you know, defensive positioning. You talk about arm strength and infield. You talk about everything. So that's the cool part about baseball, is there's never going to be, you know, one way to do it, and there's always going to be a discussion and ways to get better. And, you know, that's how he's helped me. Anytime I, you know, throw out a question or something like that, he gives his thought, and it's sort of similar to mine. So, you know, it's cool to see, you know, and have that guy there all the time to help you out and lead you in the right direction.
So you and Ian Kinsler, you had a nice little rivalry, second base, All-Stars, Gold Gloves, but it goes back a few years, even in college, when you beat him out and he transferred. So I don't think it's any beef on your side, but I mean, he's looked at you like you're his chip on the shoulder, right? Like he plays because he wants to prove he's better than you out for a while. I think we all do that, but now he's here. Have you guys talked at all? I mean, I'm guessing you played against each other for a while, so you're cool now, but.
I think that story was a little blown out of proportion. I mean, Ian played shortstop and I played second. I was a freshman, he was a sophomore. So we were playing together, and then you know, Ian, you know, the coach got a little down on Ian like the first 15, 20 games, and then I moved actually to third base for 10 games, and then we put a fifth-year senior at short, and he broke his thumb. And I think the coach was still mad at Ian for some reason that he put me at short, you know, just to like prove a point or something. And I played good. You know, our coach always told me I stink at shortstop. You know, you couldn't throw you can't throw the ball over there. You're throwing grenades. I'm like, geez, man. So he put me there, and I actually played good. And there was like 20 games left, and ended up playing, and then Ian just transferred. So it wasn't like I beat Ian out. We were playing together. So, but no, I love Ian. I've always loved Ian. It was great playing with him that 1 year at ASU. And, you know, obviously I've followed everything he's done, you know, in Texas, Detroit, Anaheim, and now here. And right when we got him, I texted him, man, it's finally, I'm glad that we're finally on the same team again. So, you know, we're fortunate to have him. He's a great player, and, you know, it's going to take everybody to win a World Series, and I'm glad he's on our team.
You know what? You know, back-to-back, you know, great seasons, 93 wins and all, but you know, the postseason didn't quite end the way anybody really wanted to. Now this year, you know, new set of circumstances, great record, everybody seems to be happy. What can you tell me why you would think this year would be different than the previous 2 seasons where you didn't win the division but you couldn't get out of the first round?
Yeah, experience. I think, you know, it's like anything in life. When you want to be the best at something, you're going to have to fail, you know, several times before you can get there. And that's life, man. You know, I mean, look at the 2004 team. They failed, 86 times before they got an opportunity to win. So, you know, that's baseball. That's anything. You know, I think the last couple of years, the experience that our younger players got, you know, just playing in that playoff series, I think that's huge. I think they understand now that, you know, home field advantage, yeah, that does matter. You know, the little things in certain games, that does matter. Getting a guy over, you know, making sure you read a ball in the dirt. I mean, we won the World Series in 2013 because Mike Napoli read a ball in the dirt. You know, that's, you know, little things like that. And I think going through that the last couple of years together, I think that's going to be the difference that separates those 2 teams from this year's team. And, you know, we'll see.
All right, Petey, thank you for checking in with us. We really appreciate it.